So, not gonna mince my words real quick, but from Bounding into Comics, Electronic Arts CEO believes Battlefield could benefit from Call of Duty becoming Xbox exclusive. No shite. I mean, yeah, obviously, if Call of Duty went exclusive, Battlefield would benefit because it would become one of the biggest AAA titles, even though its past several games were crap, to be on multiple platforms, while Call of Duty would be solely on like PC and Xbox. I mean, this common business. But he he does say some interesting things in this article. EA CEO says fears of over platform exclusivity for Call of Duty after the Microsoft Activision Blizzard acquisition is a tremendous opportunity for Battlefield. Yeah. As reported by Axios journalist and former Kotaku editor-in-chief Stefan, I'm not even going to try, I think Totilo, EA CEO Andrew Wilson spoke at the Goldman Sachs conference in September. When discussing Battlefield, Wilson admitted, "I don't think we delivered in the last two iterations of that in the way that we should have. Really. Your past two games were broken. Like literally destroyed. Nobody was able to play them. There's a lot of work we've got to do there, but at its very core, it's extraordinary IP." Yes, you're right. Battlefield was an extraordinary IP, but you're only as good as your last. And your past two games were broken, buggy, and were just disasters. And what we've seen in the world of entertainment is that great IP is resilient. Yeah, I don't know. Plus, you're contending with the idea that your game Call of Duty ever does go exclusive, which Founding in a Comics goes into, very interestingly. Wilson, referring to Battlefield 2042, woes riddled with bugs and glitches. Yeah, we already talked about that. Talks about how EA amidst these poor sales, which EA admitted did not meet expectations, rumors began to swell that the game would go free to play and that development team had been reduced to a skeleton crew. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, the game was so broken that Steam had to break its 2-hour refund rule because it was so broken and everybody was ticked. Wilson continued, and we've seen movies, not live up to expectations of franchises. Star Wars might be one such franchise. Ooh, nice dig at Star Wars. But now that I'm thinking about it, I think your franchise is on par with Star Wars. You're both crap. And then you can see what happens when you get the right creative team involved. How they can completely renovate and grow a franchise. And I think the way it's cut off, I want to keep saying fan China, but I know that's not right. And I think we have an extraordinary creative team involved in Battlefield now. Yeah, but the problem is, what you're saying is going off into a Star Wars tangent. The sequels did crap. You brought Favreau in to make Mando. Mando succeeded for 1 and 2, but the key jangling is what brought people back for Boba and so on. But now even the key jangling's over, honeymoon phase is over, and nobody really cares about Star Wars. People like Andor, but Andor isn't all that great either. Andor is actually pretty mediocre in comparison. We have unbelievable ambition to own the first-person shooter space practically as it feels. I don't know why they keep doing that. To creation. Practically as it feels to creation. Oh, they're assuming words. And in a world where there are questions as to the future of Call of Duty and what platforms that might be on and might not be on, being platform agnostic and completely cross-platform with Battlefield, I think it's a tremendous opportunity, Wilson justified. So he's right. He's right. If Call of Duty isn't Call of Duty is one of the biggest franchises out there. Which we're going to go into what Bounty Comics says from Microsoft and PlayStation, but Call of Duty is one of the biggest franchises out there. FPS shooters, people love it, and it's not really a console. Yeah, it is kind of a console seller, but most people play it on PlayStation. It has its ups and downs, but everybody goes back to play it. Everybody's always back at the start to play it. And if, let's say, Call of Duty disappeared and just went Xbox, which would only be on Xbox and Microsoft platforms, still would have a PC platform, it would change the game. Battlefield could come in and steal the show. The problem is, like I said at the beginning, you're only as good as your last. And your last two games were shit. Nearly unplayable. Like, people wanted refunds, and you're admitting defeat. You admit that you guys messed up, so that's a start. But are you going to fix that? Is your next game going to be better? Time will only tell, but he does make a good point that the second largest FPS that has a continuing record would be Battlefield. Battlefield would fill the void. Even though I think he's wanting something that is not going to happen. It's a stupid move for Microsoft to do this. And we'll go into it. Amid Microsoft's plans to acquire Activision Blizzard for $68.7 billion, first announced earlier this year, Sony had more recently objected to the deal. Microsoft gaming CEO and Xbox chief Phil Spencer, gotta say it like that, reassured Call of Duty games would still come to PlayStation consoles for at least several more years beyond the current Sony contract. Yeah, why wouldn't it? And they go into this contract. PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan then claimed Microsoft has only offered for Call of Duty to remain on PlayStation for 3 years after the agreement ended, while Sony later insisted there would be major negative implications for the industry. A Microsoft spokesman reassured it makes zero business sense for Microsoft to remove Call of Duty from PlayStation given its market-leading console position. Exactly. What people aren't taking into account is tomorrow Microsoft, granted not tomorrow, but say these 3 years are up, yes, all the games could potentially go to just Microsoft and be a Microsoft exclusive. It would be a console driver. But we're no longer in the console wars are changing. Outside of Nintendo, and let's face it, Nintendo's in it for Nintendo. Nintendo only competes with Nintendo. You have Xbox and you have PlayStation, but the age of exclusivity is kind of coming to an end, which is kind of sucky. Now, there's still exclusives on Xbox and exclusives on PlayStation, but a lot of those games are no longer becoming solely exclusive. A lot of them are joining PC. A lot of them are becoming cross-platform in other ways. So we'll see what happens, but Microsoft makes it abundantly clear. Why would they cut off this revenue? This is a revenue that they can, laying it out, Call of Duty being so massive, we can now make PlayStation players buy this game and we get money for it. That's the idea. You have, and I. This article started with the EA guy. Who, let's face it, he's right, but that's highly unlikely to happen. What's more than likely going to happen is Call of Duty is going to remain multi-platform and not exclusive, because like I was saying, why would you give up that opportunity to get money? Why would you give up the opportunity to get people buying your game on Steam, on PlayStation, wherever it is, and lose that revenue source if you want to make it an Xbox exclusive? Now, Xbox has the chance to make it exclusive and would potentially be able to drive console sales, but Xbox is doing different things with its consoles. Like, you have Game Pass, which allows you to access Xbox on your PC. So what are you planning? And I think it makes more sense not to make it exclusive. So, because again, doesn't it sound a whole lot better that every time a PlayStation, which is a Sony product, every time somebody with a PlayStation wants to play Call of Duty, they're buying it from Microsoft. And they're playing it on their PlayStation software. That'd be fascinating. That would be great. And that would be an insane amount of money. Because more people, let's face the facts, even though I love my Xbox, more people play PlayStation than Xbox. More people play PC than PlayStation, but the PlayStation is a console seller. The PlayStation is just always, everybody knows somebody that has a PlayStation or loves PlayStation. And the console wars are pretty much PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. The Switch is always in it for itself. But why would you cut yourself out of that money? It makes no sense. And again, even though the EA, this guy is correct. What's his name again? I'm looking for it. Even though Andrew Wilson is technically correct, that yes, if Xbox went exclusive, if Call of Duty went exclusive, you'd have a major opportunity there. The chances of that happening is, I don't want to say it's zero, but it's slim, because it's a stupid business idea. Granted, we're in 2022, almost 2023, and we have a buttload of stupid business ideas. But I don't think Battlefield will be able to do what he wants it to do, because it takes too much into account. In the age of corporatism and playing it safe, let's be real, playing the safe bet is don't make your Call of Duty Xbox exclusive. Make it cross-platform. That's the safest bet. So with that, guys, if you like the video, leave a thumbs up, share it out to your friends, hit that subscribe button and that bell for every time I go live and stuff. I have fun times over here. Leave comments down below, and bye for now.